Good morning, everybody! Welcome in! Happy Tuesday! Happy Tuesday! Hello, hello! Hope y'all are doing well today. Good to see you all. Excuse me. Hope y'all are doing fantastic today. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. Metal Spider, Josho, Karima, Gabriel, Danny, Saint Seiya, Mega Rock, Beat, welcome in. Hello, everybody. Dark, welcome in. Hello. How was the Nintendo Direct? I haven't watched it yet. But there's only one way that you guys will get me to watch it. If there is even an inkling of Professor Layton news, that is the only way that I will watch it. So, we'll see. We'll see. Also, no spoilers in that case. No spoilers. I don't want any mentions of that. If there is, I want to see it for myself. Because I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this. It is something intense. Waiting something fierce. Want to save points for a funny Ash line? Oh boy. But for those of you who have watched the Nintendo Direct, how was it? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you learn anything? Did you see anything that caught your interest? I hope so. Oh, excuse me. My nose is a little sniffly today. Allergies are acting something fierce this morning. Haven't seen it yet. Maybe later I'll watch it. Fair enough, Saint Seiya. It did air pretty early in the morning. Especially for those that are on the West Coast. Pretty early for you guys. Just some unexpected surprises. I'm only watching the trailers that was out now. Ah, I see. I see. Can't watch because I'm gonna be working, but I hope you have great gameplay. Thank you, Mr. Firefly. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay sharp. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Today's gonna be intense, chat. Today is going to be intense. Not in literal tense, but you get what I mean. But, oh. Edgeworth as the defense attorney, this is going to be good. This is gonna be very, very good. I hope y'all are looking forward to it. Because I certainly am. We are intense. Like I said, time for one of the best parts. Megarock, I wholeheartedly agree with you. This is one of my favorite parts in all of the games. And that's saying a lot. In the entire franchise, this trial is probably one of my favorite trials ever. And there's a lot of good ones. This one will definitely pull on the heartstrings a little bit. Definitely. Blah, blah, blah. I remember hamming it up a bit too much at this part with the guys. I just had fun voicing Miles. No, I get it. I'm gonna have a blast. This is gonna, like I said, this is my favorite part. Can't wait for investigations when I get to voice him for the entire game. Holy moly. That'll be even more fun.
Message from Denny.
Hello.
Remember to stay hydrated and also keep your technology cool. My computer was freezing because of heat and dust yesterday. Lol.
I appreciate the warning. Yes. Keep your computer cool. If you have air conditioning, use it. If your computer gets too hot, let it cool down. Mine is fine because it has liquid cooling on the inside. It's kind of fancy that way. But definitely if you have a laptop
Hello
or something.
everyone.
Oh,
Tis Ash. And now it is plug time.
plug
If you're
time!
enjoying the stream, make sure to leave a follow and check out Lady Arya's ASMR YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You can also type !merch and throne to support our boss Angel even more. You can also link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account to give a Prime sub once per month to your favorite streamers.
Twitch Prime.
Alright, Ash away. Enjoy the rest of the stream, Shade Slayers.
Woo.
Lady Arya, enjoy your time with your boy Edgeworth.
Oh.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha, very funny. Thank you, Ash, for the plug. Will you play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles someday? Yes! After everything else. Oh my gosh. With that done, yeah, while Miles is an MC in investigation, TNT let him be in the MC chair first. Oh, absolutely. And that's why they made the I have a feeling that's why the investigation games were so popular. Green Grunt, no spoilers for the Nintendo Direct. I haven't seen it yet. All I saw was they announced, and I didn't look at anything else, so I'm I'm trying not to look, because no spoilers. Boy, oh boy. Holy moly! But it's time, chat! It is time! It is time to get started. It is time to begin the game.
I'm thirsty.
Thank you for the hydrate. And the stretch as well. No, I understand, Green Rut. I'm excited too. I'm just hoping, want to be able to watch it on my own. And I haven't had the chance to look at it yet, so we'll just see. I'll see it afterwards. So no worries. Might show some of the games I might be interested in at a later date, maybe a few minutes or hours. I see. You're welcome to share them in the Discord. If you would like to share any of the things related to the Nintendo Direct in the gaming channels in the Discord, feel free to do so there. You are all welcome to do so there. Curious to see what y'all are excited for coming up with the games coming this year and in the next. So I am definitely excited for that. Excuse me. Pardon me. Ba, 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 da, ba, ba. Music is so good. Oh, and perfect. The Discord thing popped up there. Alrighty, though. Without further ado, we should actually... No, we're on an ad break right now. I'm gonna wait a minute. I'm gonna wait until we get back from the ads. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Give it a second to be done with the ads. But yes, we're in the first part of the trial. In episode 5, Bridge to the Turnabout. We got a lot of lore thrown at us last week. The beginning of the case was definitely intense. It went from 0 to 11 very quickly. And yeah, Phoenix has a bit of a nasty cold and is in the hospital. Hence why we are playing as Edgeworth here. Hence why we're playing as Edgeworth. Alrighty though. Continue! It's time to continue the story. Into the trial! Let's do this. February 9th, 9:47 a.m. District Court defended lobby number 1. Oh my! Mr. Loris feels that way about me?
Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed.
I'm sorry. Oh, Edgeworth, don't be so harsh there, buddy. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing.
Worry not. In any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him.
Does that mean Mr. Loris is the witness today?
No, I believe that none will be the first to take the stand.
Sister Bikini.
She claims to have seen the very instant in which you carried out the crime.
Yes, Green Grunt, I have. And I cannot wait to play it once we're done with the Professor Layton games.
I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Donan, correct?
That is correct. It wasn't me.
Very well then.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes?
you're a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed...
Don't worry. I've made the necessary arrangements.
I see.
Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt me. But right now, I am a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in it, and to believe until the bitter end.
Thank you for the hydrate. Ah.
That's what my friend told me once.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted.
Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. Smile with the 4-step plan? Absolutely. Would you recommend playing Curious Village Layton Trilogy first before I play it myself? Yes. Yes, I would recommend that you play it, but you don't have to. I would recommend you play it, but you don't have to. They're all on mobile, so if you have like a mobile phone that's strong enough to play those kinds of games, I would do it on mobile. Rather than trying to buy the DS versions, because the DS versions can get very expensive anymore. What happened to Diego? Well... we will find out. February 9th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 7.
Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. I am ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant.
Objection! Oh, look who's back! Look who's back! Hi, Francisca! Hey! Guess who's back? Hi, Francisca! The prosecution stands ready.
And you are?
Francisca von Karma, prosecuting prodigy.
Von Karma, you say? Perchance you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma.
Legends are a thing of the past. I am a von Karma, that is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case.
You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before. Or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you are imagining things, Your Honor. Miss von Karma, do you have anything to say?
There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office.
There isn't. I'm sure. Once before in this courtroom. Ah!
I told you, there is no such weakling.
What is that? A whip? I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom. The bailiff, remove that whip and...
Hold it!
Whoa! The first hold it from Edgeworth as well! The first hold it! Let's go!
I have no objection to the whip. You don't? The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee. But there is still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today.
This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix right here today. But looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers.
I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add to the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my courtroom. Ah!
The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor.
Very well. Miss Von Karma, please give an outline of this case. With as little whipping as possible.
The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Elise Donim. Her body was found in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue. Ow. Ow. That looks like it hurt a lot. Oh. Yikes.
The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo of the crime scene.
Crime photo. The courtyard where Elise Donim was murdered. There is no mistake, this was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her crime.
Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. So it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney.
Witness, state your name and occupation, please.
Oh, hold on here. I'm not sure if I care. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care for this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back pain plagued witnesses. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please.
Yeah, get her a box, please. Oh my gosh. Poor Sister Bikini. People acting weird in a courtroom, Your Honor. Do you know what in the world you're talking about? Eh. Well, this is what world you're in. No, he doesn't. Once again, your name and occupation, please. Little old me. Well, I'm the head nut of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name's Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone.
But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now.
Ah! The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once.
You want me to leave?
No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm a sight to behold in the summer. Ha ha ha. Oh, gosh. Ugh, gosh darn it, Your Honor.
In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question.
That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do anything like that.
Let us hear what you have to say then. First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh?
About your own movements? About your own movements! Oh my gosh. Well, interesting. That night, I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but... well, as you can see, my back likes to act up. Violently. So, I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long, hot soak. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it!
It was simply coincidence that you found yourself returning to Hazakura Temple?
Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple.
That sounds like a pretty important statement she made.
There is only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall in at the first hurdle now, are you, Miles Edgeworth?
Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination.
Get some breakfast, Saint Seiya. Enjoy the breakfast. A boot. Maybe that's why I gave this judge a Canadian accent back then. A Canadian accent! Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Let's see. Wait a minute. But we learned something from Iris, didn't we? Iris says that she wasn't that she never went to the inner temple. That's a little bit, That's a little bit questionable.
Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests upon their powers of observation and memory, after all.
Well. Don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all. The head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
In that case, Mr. Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me.
Thank you for the hydrate.
The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all.
No! She said that? A defendant or a witness? Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? The defendant is simply lying to cover her back.
But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi.
But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie.
She does indeed have honest eyes.
All people lie. That is my belief.
Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie. Which means we must call your memory into question.
Dear. You're older than me, and yet you want to play that game, do you?
Well, that isn't exactly what I...
My memory is perfect. Crystal clear, especially in winter.
And I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, you are going to question the memory of the witness. You will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence. Understood, Your Honor. It was naive to think that alone would do the trick. And please, add your comments about... a boot! A boot!
I can't take it seriously. A boot!
Please add your comments about Iris to the testimony. And let us return to the cross-examination.
Oh, dear. Let's see. Iris came to the inner temple. She was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. A boot! Alright. Dressed exactly, huh? Really? Then how come her hood is in our possession, huh?
Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant, who you claim to have met, she was wearing this demon-warding hood, correct?
Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Ha. Wait a minute. Hold it right there. Why do you have that?
That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Miss Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung.
What?
You know where I'm going with this, don't you? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the Iris she saw should have been missing this very hood.
Well!
It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it. Order! Order in the court! Witness your response!
Sister, this hood. You have spare ones around the temple, don't you? Spares? Well, I do tend to make too many of them.
I see. A stockpile. A surplus of hoods, eh?
Eastnon is only given one hood. That should be the only hood that Iris owned.
And this is quite strange.
If there was a surplus of hoods, then she could have worn one of those. There is no contradiction here.
I'm sorry to break this to you, Miss Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily.
Miles is having some fun. Oh, absolutely. Did you No, Joshua, I have not seen the Nintendo Direct yet. No spoilers, though. I will be watching the little bits and trailers and stuff after the stream today. Miss Bikini is standing on wooden planks for height. Oh, yeah. You missed that part.
Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. Seeds of doubt. Witness. While I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath, on your way back to the inner temple.
Those seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. Contradictory stimulation.
Do you want to put a pinned comment about no direct spoilers or something? No, that'll be that's okay. I'll just try to avoid the spoilers in the chat. Thank you for the suggestion though, Megarock. Appreciate it. I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should have returned to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and Iris was... Oh, Mystic Elise! With that sword of all things! Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. Yeah, it's not the subject of the stream, so spoilers shouldn't even be mentioned. That is fair, Grima. Very fair. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Miss Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court. And me seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe.
I would look the fool if I commented on such foolishness. Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth.
Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours?
Miles with the snark. Miles with the snark. We always appreciate that. Always. Let's see. Let's check the autopsy report on that one. Body fell 10 feet after death. How did you know that? How did you know that, Bikini?
Objection!
How in the world did you know that?
Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say anyway.
Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter.
However, I think you are overlooking one thing. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report?
The autopsy report?
The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
Ah!
That's right! It says after death right here! The scene the witness claims to have seen is contradictory. If the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go on to take a 10-foot fall?
Ah! Ha ha ha! Ha ha! How about that?
Order! Order! The victim was killed and then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree?
That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. Thank you for the hydrate. And she was then thrown out of her window below into the courtyard below.
Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Donim's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a bloodstain, wouldn't you agree? Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood? What?
No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your witness just caused traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff field. However, if there was no blood in the room, then your claim that... Ah!
I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure Your Honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood.
When it produces the most blood.
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. Demons, gosh dang it, hold on. Oh, let me see if it, will it fix itself? Did it fix itself? At least we get to hear the cool objection theme. Hey Aiden, welcome in, good to see you. Now it's fixed, yay!
Indeed. With the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound. That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking.
We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions.
At least my semblance matches my inner beauty.
Huh? Okay then. Interesting statement, Ash.
Order! 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 I must admit that this is a probable version of events. I'd expect no less from Franziska von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point. It seems that we need a clear testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please! Remain standing on the crate.
Don't go selling me short now. The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape. Especially my back and my mood. Sister, please give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here.
With the whip?
Oh boy. All right, all right. Yeah, that didn't really make a whole lot of sense, did it? When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mystic Ami was stabbing Mystic Elise through the back. No spoilers for the Nintendo Direct, please. But congrats on the 10 stream streak.
This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth.
Perfection is an impossibility, Franziska von Karma. And I'm here to teach you just that.
I think a pinned comment for no spoilers might be useful now, just a suggestion though. Okay then. Yeah, actually. We don't want any misunderstandings. Alright, bye Sansea. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay sharp! In terms of Nintendo Direct, it is not the topic of today's stream. So, no spoilers from the Nintendo Direct. Please. Thank you. I've never seen so much blood before.
So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood?
That's right! Some of it had splattered onto Iris, too. When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner.
What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well? That seems quite conclusive to me. What should I do? Press this point further?
Of course we press further.
Going back to your previous statement. You said that you saw a little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. But now you say you saw the victim bleeding.
Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw.
Well, what did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day.
Pulling the sword out?
Well, it wasn't exactly pulling. It was more like it came out.
Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony.
Oh, was that important?
More important than you can imagine.
Yeah. I would say... How could a sword like this smoothly come out? Huh?
Mr. Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here.
What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. What contradictions are you talking about? Thank you for the stretch.
In the scene that the witness claims to have seen.
Thank you for the hydrate. Oh my gosh. Wah!
The weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. What do you mean? Please explain your—
Explain yourself!
To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear to be strong enough for that.
Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble. I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, so should I so choose. Okay, Francisca. Calm down.
The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit. That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly.
That's...
We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding.
That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with the shichishito. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly, and may still sometimes stop the blood loss.
I'm not finished. There is still one more conclusive contradiction. You've still got more? This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it?
Oh, good point. Why would there be blood only on the tip? Huh? That don't make no sense.
Also, Edgeworth is awesome. Absolutely. If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword.
No!
Order!
Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. raising this many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that.
But what does this all mean? You're proving contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but having come this far, there can only be one answer.
And that is?
The weapon used to kill the victim was not the Shichishito. What?
A foolishly foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardily foolish fool.
Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think this sword was the murder weapon?
Well, it's because Mr. Gami was holding it.
Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing.
Shades, welcome in! Can we have a shout out for Shades, please? How many fools did she say? Too many. Too many. Been a while since we've heard Franzie's foolish fool rhymes. Oh, absolutely.
The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the Shichishito was the murder weapon.
Could we also get someone to turn off the heat and rain? Yeah, maybe here too. So maybe the Shichishito was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object.
That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question?
Get some water, Shades. Get the water. Stay hydrated.
The obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? It goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us to if a sword-like object was found?
That's...
Answer the question, Miss Von Karma.
No evidence of that kind was found. He's awesome, right? Edgeworth is amazing, okay? I love Phoenix too, don't get me wrong, but Miles is just the coolest. He's so freaking cool.
Another mystery to throw onto the pile.
Edge a natural at this. Absolutely.
A trial without a murderer weapon is a tricky beast.
Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually. What is it, sister? I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was... it was just over there.
What exactly are you going on about here?
A boot! The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe. I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
You what?
Well then. I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister.
Impossible. What else? What else could this old woman have seen?
Good question. I saw the murderer at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out? Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Witness, please. Tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape. But with my back and my age, you know. Quite. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. You too, Panhead. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay sharp! Here is a photograph.
A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory.
The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge. Tracks photo, taken that night from Main Gate to Dusky Bridge. That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in the winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon.
She really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, your cross-examination, please.
Gladly. Gladly. Let's see. Let's look at that tracks photo one more time. Wait a minute. There is a set of snowmobile tracks, but there is also a set of footprints as well. Ah. Interesting. Interesting.
I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder.
You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth.
However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks?
What do you mean?
Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge, and those from coming back.
Ah! You're right! You are forgetting one thing, Miles Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction now, doesn't it?
I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped.
I do suspect that her story doesn't have traction. Oh my gosh. Hi, Hybrid. Welcome in. Good to see you.
Leaving just the return tracks in the snow.
What do you have to say now, Miles Edgeworth? Is calling people by their full names a common thing in the AA trilogy? No, that's just Francisca. That's just Francisca's thing.
Is there a flaw in her theory? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks.
There is a big contradiction.
The tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible.
Would you care to explain why there is a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction?
No need. The evidence will do all of the talking for me. On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge in order to dispose of the murder weapon. The outgoing tracks were erased by snow, or so claims Miss Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by snow.
How about the fact that it was snowing until the time of the murder? Huh? Also, lightning struck the bridge. So, yeah. Something don't make sense here.
Witness, please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime.
Like I said, it was around 11.
Of course, this means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report? Snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11, the snow had already stopped falling. It's impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up.
Ah! Ha ha ha! He's so cool! Is this your favorite case in this game because Edgeworth is the MC? No, it's just so cool! This entire case is awesome. So, that's why it's a really good case.
Order! Order! Very well then. It looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been snowed in.
Your Honor! That's terrible! Edgeworth being the MC is just a bonus.
Ah!
It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow. Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. Answer me this then. When is a weather report ever correct?
Ah, no. You've got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast. This is actual data. Yeah!
Forecast data, all weather reports have some inaccuracies. It may have been snowing in the vicinity well past 11.
It's true. We cannot be totally sure, eh? What? How did she pull that off? It had stopped snowing at Hazakura Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this. Well, there's no going back now. Very well. I, too, cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony.
You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles Edgeworth. No, you're the perfectionist. You're the perfectionist. Don't worry, B, we got this.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed?
How about the crime photo? The fact that there's no snow on the body. There's no snow on the body.
Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed.
That's right, but proving that is
Incredibly easy.
Huh?
If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered with snow, with just one exception.
And that is?
The victim herself, Miss Elise Donim.
Hey, hey! Hey, hey, Slayer fan, welcome in.
Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed, that's why. In other words, if the killer really did go to Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph there should be 2 sets of tracks.
Ah!
Order! Order! Just what are you got?
Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all of the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple.
Excuse me.
From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were heading for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing.
Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow.
Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained.
Can I say something? This all sounds a bit fishy to me.
What does, sister?
There is only one key for the snowmobile.
Oh,
Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it. The key was found in her room after the murder. Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple.
But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance.
The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge. So she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot.
That sounds right.
But what's odd is, when I left Iris and returned to Hazakura Temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge. Ah! You must have just failed to see it, sister. Maybe. And when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too.
But that isn't possible. Order, order, order in the court! What does all this mean? So then, what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should have been 2 sets of tracks in the photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. I never thought a simple snowmobile caused so much trouble. I think we've learned all we can from this witness.
Yes, I've nothing more to add. I've told you everything. Everything that I know.
But then, that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone, a witness who could testify having seen the snowmobile. A witness, huh? Was there no one out walking, perhaps near Dusky Bridge that night?
I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that. Unless they had something really important to do.
That's a shame. Hold on. Something is coming to me. An idiot may well have gone wandering out that night. An idiot may well have gone wandering out on that subarctic night. Your Honor, actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us. Really?
You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder?
I don't know if for sure if he saw it or not. There are 2 things about him that do come to mind, which are, first, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder.
And the second
thirsty.
being?
This individual that I am thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he's our kind of idiot. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you are talking about?
Who? I wonder who it could be.
This guy must be a product of Jean-Luc Delarc's Guide to Obnoxious French Painting. This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim, Elise Donen. A student. Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside the night of the murder? That's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness, before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was perhaps searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him, although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason.
And so, this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man, what exactly was it that he saw?
I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom. Summon this youth as a witness immediately!
I have no choice, do I?
I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him. Very well, Larry. You may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you. The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Miss Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Well then, court is now in recess.
Edgeworth is awesome. I failed to mention this earlier. Miles is actually wearing Nick's badge like it's his. I know, it's like right on his lapel. Yeah, it's so cool. It's just the little things that you notice. All right, let's save. And we will come back to the trial after break. I will be right back, everybody. Don't go anywhere. BRB! am back, everybody. I return with, with more water. Ready to go. Alrighty, let's go. Hello, hello. I return. It is time. Let us begin the second part of today's trial. February 9th, 11:15 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 1.
Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not really sure what to say.
Iris, you only have 20 minutes. There are 2 things which I need to ask you before we reconvene.
All right. I'll help you any way I can.
First, about that night. You really didn't go to the inner temple, correct? The last witness claims to have met and talked with you in the training hall. Either you or Sister Bikini is lying.
Mr. Edgeworth, it is just as I said yesterday. Until the incident occurred, I was in my own room in Hasakura Temple.
Very well. Second thing then.
This is ironic since I'm watching a show about a certain lawyer. Oh, what lawyer? What lawyer?
The second thing then. That night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the time Sister Bikini returned to the main hall and when she bore witness to the murder. Sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m. that night. Were you the one who used the snowmobile?
There was only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me.
So it was you. But why? What made you go out to Dusky Bridge?
I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, no!
Iris.
I can't tell you about that yet.
Yet.
Not until her safety is confirmed.
Her.
The safety of the Acolyte.
The Acolyte. She must be talking about Maya. Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill Elise Donim?
No matter who or what may come, I could never take a life.
As I thought. No psychologs. Very well. It is my job to get to the truth. You'll discover this for yourself soon enough.
Well, here we go. February 9th, 11:36 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. Now prepare for this part, because this part is gonna get a little weird.
Court will now reconvene. Miss Von Karma, where is the witness?
During the break, a man was detained for suspicious behavior in the gallery.
Suspicious behavior?
He was sketching something, very intensely.
Dare I ask what the witness was sketching when he was detained?
He drew a terrifying woman, armed with a demonic face and a vicious whip.
I can only presume that his intention was to capture. Ah!
Anyway, it's time to drag this pathetic excuse for an artist before the court. Laurie stoned him. I hope you're ready. Get in here.
It would seem that whip is going to see plenty more use today.
Ouch! Your sketch is in contempt of this court. Hey! I was just artistically rendering. Ouch! You tried to run away from the bailiff who was trying to hand you your subpoena, correct? Subpoena, correct?
Look, I'm nothing but a fledgling artist, training out in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I ran out of green paint. Well, they use the technical term for the color. Viridian. Larry, this isn't an art store now, is it?
I know, I graduated junior high, okay?
Look,
art is all about working in the fields, isn't it?
Working in the fields? I presume he wanted to say field work, I hope.
That's it. Thanks, buddy.
It's kind of sad that I was able to understand his mangled train wreck of a sentence. I just happened to stop in here and found a wonderful new model. So see, I got nothing to do with this trial at all. I expect all your faces to be red when you realize this mistake. Bright red. Or to use the technical term, crimson lake. Ouch! 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 Ouch!
Stop your pathetic blabbing and testify like a man!
Refrain from whipping me, Miss Von Karma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. Witness, that was all your fault. Testify now. This is too much for me.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
That was
Wow, Larry is cooking. Flamed even XD.
Yeah, flamed. Flamed is the better word.
I was at that lodge out in the mountains, looking up at the stars all night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see a snowmobile. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died on me. I'm all alone now. Aren't I edgy? Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony. I'm just a nobody. Nothing but a small, worthless man, aren't I? Why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation or anything else? For Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex. He's recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself just how much of a nuisance he has been to other people. Yeah, that's right. I'm behind everything. Every case. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy. Well then, let us proceed with the cross-examination. With no touching, thank you. We can delve into each other's into other details at a later time.
Yeah, toughen up a little, would you, Larry? Toughen up a little bit, please. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. Oh, you liar! You definitely saw someone! You saw Phoenix! You idiot! You saw Phoenix, you idiot! Larry! Larry! Larry!
Larry Butts. I can understand why you might want to throw your own life away. You're pretty pathetic and you cause all sorts of trouble. I'm sorry. But, having realized just how much of a nuisance you've been, that can be considered a step in the right direction. Edgy, are you trying to console me? It certainly doesn't sound that way to me. However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from the incidents you create. You're totally pinning this on me. Now then, let us talk about the night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder take place, asked Phoenix Wright to report it. Thus, he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There, he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butts. That's right. Me, in the flesh. Listen carefully, witness. It doesn't matter if you change your name. So long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause these incidents. That reality will not change. What do you want me to do then? Larry, what you need to do is change your inner self. But for now, what you saw that night, testifying truthfully about this one issue is all I need from you. Edgy. I think that finally woken up. Well, I guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it. I'll testify. Well, I'm not sure this will go especially well. I'll ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder?
Oh my gosh, Larry. Larry Butts, why? Why you do this? Yeah, Larry is savagely being bashed from all sides now. Indeed.
I went to the shack at around 9, so it would have been about 10:30 p.m. I was lying under my bedding when a white flash almost blinded me. I looked out the window, and Dusky Bridge was on fire. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick. You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you?
So, what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire?
It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. It totally burnt out. Like almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains was what caused Nick to fall.
What did you say?
Oh, don't worry. It's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold.
I never know with that man if he should be called lucky or unlucky. Francisca, are you actually concerned? Huh? Huh? Okay then. You know, those moments where it's like, huh? Okay.
I'm thirsty.
Francisca may actually be a little concerned. Thank you for the hydrate. Franzi low-key concerned.
Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination.
Let's see. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. Okay, how about some more information on that?
You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that? The lightning fell and then the bridge caught on fire. Maybe around 5 minutes? I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out.
How far is this small shack? How far is this small shack you were in from the bridge?
Hold on. Well, it pretty much stopped snowing. That's about a 5-minute walk. And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there? Like I had recovered a piece of my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfire kids make during school camping trips can compare. Well, should I press him for more info?
Of course we should. Why didn't you call anyone?
Larry, let me ask you one thing. What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face? Why didn't you call anyone? Huh? What do you mean? Normally, when faced with a towering inferno, one would try and tell someone. There's a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct? Well, of course I thought of doing that. So then, let's hear why you didn't. Huh? Yeah, okay. My reason. It isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone, I just didn't have time to, okay? I arrived at the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later.
We sure about that? We sure about that? I don't know about that one there, Larry. Don't know about that one. I doubt she's concerned, just annoyed how even when things look bad for him or he somehow turns things around. That's fair enough, Hybrid. That's fair enough.
Your very existence being a contradiction. I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not. Dang, Miles! Dang! What the hey, AG? You made me sound like some sort of alien. But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time. I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take you to catch up with him? Terrible at those. This is much more simple. You saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge, and immediately went to see what happened. Is this correct? Yeah, well, I wasted about 5 minutes first, but more or less. I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45 p.m. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge. Meaning you probably got there at around 11 p.m. That all sounds about right, I guess. Then Nick showed up and did his falling act. That is impossible. What do you mean? 11 p.m. is when the murder occurred in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there, in the courtyard. There is no way that Larry could have encountered him at the Dusky Bridge at that time. Excuse me, I have an objection. You do? Edgy, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry. I'm Laurie's Johnny. Ah!
It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m. The sister only said around 11, in which case it could have been earlier than that.
Watch your footing there, Miss Francisca Montcalm. The slope ahead is slippery. But there is still no way that Wright could have been at Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m.
And why not?
It is clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15 p.m. Which means, what exactly? Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by the flames that night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until after the flames had died down. Larry, you arrived at the scene at 11 p.m., but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during those missing 15 minutes? I feel like I just got brutally woken up by a toilet splashback. I guess I was still sleeping after all. Pinch me! Oh gosh, Larry! Order!
So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly see that as much of a problem.
Yeah, not much of a problem at all. Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes, and there is a phone right next to it. Why, then, did you not report the accident? Yes, witness, why didn't you? Were you there simply to watch the bridge burn? And therein lies the problem. For even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring into space, this witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty.
That's what it sounds like.
Ah, but this is Larry we are talking about. Which means there had to be a reason for his inaction. Edgy. I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude. Just as I thought, you've been playing with us all this time. Listen, I'm gonna tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all? Yes.
Sigh. Larry has the toughness of a plushie.
Agreed. Then say it!
Very well. I have a terribly bad feeling about this, however. Let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, for this 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness? I'm a donim. I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I whipped out into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling. I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out and then he came rushing up. I suppose artists can be strange folk. That's right, I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch. Including the truth from the sound of it. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed your last of your doubts? Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains. And what would that be? This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him. Ha ha ha. You'll regret this, Edgy. What do you mean we'll regret this? Huh? What do you mean, Larry? Huh?
I'm not sure. Including other people's well-being, too. Yeah, absolutely.
Sketching. The burning bridge.
The burning bridge and everything that came with it.
What came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch of mine is... Gah!
Enough! Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. What should I do? I've got a terrible feeling that the instant this sketch is revealed. The entire world may be changed by what is depicted there.
Let's look at it.
Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please.
Well, well. Even I couldn't imagine it turned out like this.
Imagine what?
That Maurice Stoneham's debut would take place here today, like this.
Ouch! Show it! Now!
Okay, but steel yourselves. This is the world of Maurice Stoneham.
Well... So this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma?
Yes, well... It's a better drawing than expected.
Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames, I really did.
Yes, I'm sure you did. This is going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry.
What?
The burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate-looking figure?
Ah, you spotted that? I thought you might.
However much I might want to ignore it, I can't.
It's Iris, of course. Iris! I wish she'd take better care of herself. We have to plan for our future, you know? What would have happened to her if she'd injured herself flying like that? Larry? Larry? What the heck? Larry? What are you talking about? Excuse you? Larry. Larry. What are you talking about?
Larry, please, answer this next question honestly.
Okay.
Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames?
Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist. A real artist.
Art?
You!
Hi! This girl, she really is high up in this picture.
Nice censorship, Your Honor! Nice censorship! What? Nice censorship, Your Honor! Jeez! Wow! The fact that they got away with that. Wow!
Somebody clip that, please. Oh my gosh. What the heck?
Oh my gosh! Oh man! Oh wow! Oh my gosh! Holy moly! Wow! I forgot about that. Oh my gosh! My brain is losing so many cells. How do you think I feel? I'm reading it! I'm reading this beat! Oh gosh.
Ah! What was that for?
This is all a bad dream. I was hitting you on the cheek to test that theory.
Please whip your own cheek from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people can fly.
Actually, there is some precedent for this.
She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris.
It was about 30 feet above the bridge, at least. It was really something to see.
This has to be some kind of a mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to earth. What? Me? Witness is your friend, is he not?
Accessory to foolishness. Miles Edgeworth.
Let us get back to the cross-examination. By force, if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here. Yes, Your Honor. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron.
Well, what did you think of my debut piece?
Get that thing away from me!
Horrible sketch of what he saw the night of the crime. Oh my gosh. Zingy, be sure to link that in the Discord. Be sure to link that in the Discord.
Now hurry up and cross-examine him.
Oh, jeez. Her white hood fluttering. Yeah. I think that's a pretty obvious contradiction.
Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care.
In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you a whole $1 that it's the truth.
If that is truly the case, then there is one
thirsty.
thing that we can say for certain.
Thank you for the hydrate. Even the game thinks that the sketch is horrible. Oh my gosh.
What might that be? That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris.
What? What do you mean? I don't understand. Ah! A foolhardily folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolish, foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim?
Tell us, Larry. According to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw was wearing a hood, correct?
Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood. Ah! It seems there are bigger fools in this world than the one at the defense's bench.
Larry, there is something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight?
What are you talking about?
I think you understand what I mean just fine.
Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood?
What?
Edgy, what's going on with Iris and Nick?
Why, you Nick, you dog! I do believe that this unbelievable mysterious sketch, destined to disappear, discredited and discarded, straight into the garbage.
Ah. What is it now, witness?
It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come.
Edgy, today is the day I get to completely stupefy you.
What? What is the meaning of your outburst, witness?
Enjoy your break, Beat. I hate to do this, but I have some definitive evidence.
Definitive
evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge, and I, Laurie Stoneham, shall prove it. Oh boy.
I didn't expect to ask this again, but we shall be needing your testimony once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch, and show us your evidence that this nightmare was actually a reality.
Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy, because I'm gonna feed you a whopping serving of pain.
You've been serving us a whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me.
Poor Miles. Poor Miles is just... Poor Miles is just done with everything. Oh gosh. Larry's still being a creep again. I doubt Iris will return your feelings or creepiness. Let's see. When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. Really? Larry! Larry! Thank you for the stretch. Thank you.
A crystal sphere.
This one. Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. That sphere. Where did you find it? Let me see. Around here, somewhere? Looks about right.
And it was half buried in the snow.
It had pretty much stopped snowing by then. But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge.
The court accepts this crystal sphere.
That's mine, okay? I want it back afterwards.
There's something on it.
Huh?
Oh my! It's blood! What? Blood.
Crystal sphere. Found half covered in snow near Dusky Bridge the night of the crime. Has blood on it. You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning, you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's gonna push me around anymore.
Didn't you want to be called Maurice Stoneham only a few minutes ago?
I mean, fair enough, Miles. Fair enough. But we know where that crystal belongs. We know where that crystal belongs. Let's see. Perhaps that there is something missing from this staff?
Larry, that night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere.
There was? Oh, who was the stupid idiot?
Miss Elise Stoneham, a mentor to a stupid idiot.
The victim?
I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere.
Hey, that's my photograph. Give it back. Ouch! A crystal sphere like that is easy to find. I have just one just like it on my brooch.
They look nothing alike. In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff, found at the scene of the crime. Ah! The crystal sphere! It's gone!
What? 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 What?
Just what does this mean? If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris. After all, she was not wearing her hood. More important, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Stoneham.
A fool alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly, thus it is rejected.
You can't do that! I saw it with my own eyes!
And this crystal sphere, this is nothing more than a red herring.
You honestly believe that?
Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it well as well, Miles Edgeworth. Miss Elise Stoneham was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all.
Miss Francisca von Karma. The only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns.
Hey, why are you pointing at me?
The victim's crystal sphere was found near the bridge on the night of the murder. Yet you expect us to believe this has nothing to do with the case.
That crystal sphere, it was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder.
After the murder?
There is blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? This naturally suggests that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent, which is the exact same reason that he drew that ridiculous sketch.
What? I mean, I'm the killer? No way!
All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of this bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case.
She makes a valid point. There is no evidence that Elise Stonin left Hazakura Temple that. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it is not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have been nothing more than a monumental waste of time.
Alright, bye, Shades. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay sharp. After all this with Larry, I wonder if Miles might be ready to explode if this keeps up any longer. Even he can only take so much. I can only take so much. Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth.
And I proved it. And I proved that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place.
Yes, I can.
Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. To simply prove it, that is the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case.
What? You'll do what?
That look in your eyes. You remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered.
That should come as no surprise. Because right now, I am Phoenix Wright. And I am indeed cornered.
I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder.
How about the crime photo itself, huh? There's no stamp!
This crystal sphere, it was half buried in the snow, correct?
That's right. If it hadn't been stopped snowing, then it would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it.
That is all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear.
What?
When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing. Even if it was ever so slightly.
Snowing?
On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there is no snow on the victim's body.
Ah!
Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder.
What? What?
Order! Order! Order!
On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose.
What? What could that have been?
The sphere. There is some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge.
The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness.
Just who is...
Excuse me.
Just who is the fool? And which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma?
Have you been paying attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard.
That's not exactly true, now is it? To put it in more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body.
That's the same thing!
No, it isn't. You said it yourself.
Very little blood is actually lost. at the moment of the blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed.
If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed, thus there was no bleeding.
You are forgetting one vital thing, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Stonem's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes from 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way?
I've made it this far. The only place to take this is to the end. I just need to prove that my version of the events is also perfectly plausible. Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple.
Via the snowmobile! The snowmobile!
On that snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile.
Ah!
As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could have also been used to carry the body. Order, order, order! Ah!
This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave.
What do you mean?
The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin?
You're too late, Franziska von Karl. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation.
What?
Where was the victim, Elise Stonem, really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean?
Do you even need to think about that? Such a creature can never see the truth, let alone describe it.
This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that he could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point.
Thank you for the hydrate.
Edgy. Thank you. That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Franziska von Karma, you make a wonderful partner.
Excuse me?
There was one reason, and one reason alone for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to Wright.
Really? That's what this was all about?
You could have just told me that from the very beginning. Then I wouldn't have had Francie whipping me all. Hey!
Miles Edgeworth. I don't care about what you were here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel.
A shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by.
What a shame, Francie! This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You're an affront to all the legal system stands for. Ouch! I demand satisfaction.
I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I am counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you. The court is now adjourned.
Be continued. All right. And with that, this part of the trial is done. at least Frenzy got some kind of reputation at Larry's expense. Retribution at Larry's expense. Oh, absolutely. It is over. We're not going to continue on any farther, even though we have like 5 minutes left. We're not going to continue on any farther, as we will save that for next week. At least the crazy part's over, yes. Phew. Yes. This is the only crazy part of the trial. The rest just kind of goes dark. So, and just in time, I need to finish getting ready for work. No problem, Hybrid. Enjoy your day at work. I hope you have a great day. Stay sharp. Oh gosh. But yeah, next week, the trial's going to get dark. It's true we have a few minutes left, but we won't do much progress in them. Exactly. Not a good idea. We shall start it up again next week. Oh boy, oh boy. Side note, you know what would have been loved / been poetic? If Francie went to visit Nick in the hospital like he did for her once. Fair enough. But I doubt Francisca would do such a thing. At least not if she wasn't being forced to. You know? Because that's just how Francie is. That's just how Francisca is. I loved today's stream. Miles was awesome. Absolutely. Miles is my favorite character for a reason. Miles is just has so much character development, so much growth. I love characters that are like that. Characters that just continuously grow throughout the entire series. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, still would have been good character building if anything. Yeah, fair enough. And we haven't seen Francisca in the games in a while. So, maybe someday. Maybe someday.
I hate to disappoint you, but it seems you've failed to ensnare the genuine article.
Indeed. Thank you for the Leighton line. Goodness gracious. Holy moly. A lot has happened. Hi, Leighton. We'll see Leighton on Thursday. We'll see Leighton on Thursday, so... Oh boy, oh boy. It's gonna go absolutely crazy. Yes, indeed, it is time for a raid! Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Let's go ahead and find somebody to raid today before we head off. Let's see. Who is live today? Who is live today? You know who we could raid? Who pops in constantly? Yes. Yeah, why not? Let's go ahead and raid our friend Cloud Luxie today. We have not been able to catch one of Luxie's streams because Luxie normally streams late at night, my time. But let's go ahead and give Luxie a raid today. If you're headed over to the raid, would you please type Shade Slay Raid in the chat below. So
here's the preview. Next week we will dig into this case and get to the bottom of it. Let's hope for Miles to continue to have his brave side, Francie to be proven wrong, and for Larry to stop being pathetic. Next stream, Pathetic Painter and Snowy Strikes. Go beyond. Stay sharp.
Oh my gosh, Ash, that is perfect. Either way, if you're headed over to the raid, be sure to type Shadeslay Raid in the chat. Also, if you're going over, follow all of his rules as you would mine. And once again, as always, have fun. Alrighty. Tomorrow there is no stream as I do not stream on Wednesdays, but Thursday we will be back for more Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. I hope you all will join us for that. Alrighty, thank you so much everybody, and I will see you all on Thursday. Bye! Stay sharp, Shade Slayers!